All right, I think doors are closed. We're going to start. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to How Technology is Revolutionizing the Way Kids Learn and Play. First off, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and their continuing connection to land and community. We pay our respect to them and their cultures, and to the elders, both past and present. So today, Joey Eager, Managing Director of Thomachot/DEPT, was going to do this talk. Unfortunately, she got COVID last night. It's a shame because she's actually been a big player in the AI space at DEPT, which is why she was going to do that talk. But instead, you've got me. So I'm stepping in for Joey last minute. A bit nervous. I'll be doing a reading because I'm not super familiar with all the scripts. So apologize if I can't always look at you people. So I'm Bertrand. I'm a Senior Engineering Manager at DEPT. And I look after all the technical side of things for Thomachot and also our service and maintenance team, which we call the studio. So let's start with the beginning, chapter 1. Let's introduce ourselves a bit more. So who are we? So who's Thomachot/DEPT? We team up with the world's leading children's brand to make the digital product kids love and parents trust. And we know kids. We've partnered with the world's largest kids brand, including PBS Kids, Sesame Street, and Disney, and most respected non-profit, including Make-A-Wish Australia. There's more logos of other people we've worked with. We're very proud of. Also, I keep saying DEPT. So we've recently become part of a global agency called DEPT. So who are DEPT? Well, we're on a mission to build the best digital agency on the planet. We blend our technology products, digital product, gaming, and marketing skills together to create pioneering experiences for our clients. With global reach, an innovative mindset, and a B Corp certified commitment to sustainability, we're big enough to cope, but small enough to care. We've also won lots of awards, like the Webby Network of the Year for the past 2 consecutive years, which is pretty cool. So yeah, us. So the kids part. So since 2012, we have ideated, designed a safe and engaging experience for kids of all ages. So we understand how to work at the intersection of tech and gameplay, delivering joy to young and old alike. We do tons of games that extend kids' TV shows. For some of our favorite kids organizations, such as PBS Kids, Sesame Workshop, ABC Kids as well, and Disney as well. And we deeply love innovation in the kids space, using meaningful form of new ways to play and learn. For instance, VR to help kids during needle procedures, one of my favorites. Connecting toys with audio play to imagine, play, and learn. And we've also been creative development consultants as well for different brands. And sometimes when we have the time, we try to create our own IPs. And of course, we're exploring meaningful and safe ways to use AI in a feminist place, especially more recently as AI is becoming more and more, in our faces. Chapter 2, the power of personalized storytelling. So we had this theory. So when OpenAI released the first version of ChatGPT and DALL-E last year, we immediately got excited, working in a kids' media space as we do, about what we could do with AI kids and their families. So we had one theory. It was pretty simple. Our theory was that AI could provide children a new way to explore their imagination and creativity through story making while learning to articulate their ideas clearly. So we quickly came up with a concept. It was Joey's concept. An interactive storytelling app that lets children use their imagination and creativity to create unique visual and text-based stories with the help of ChatGPT and DALL-E. And why do we think this would be impactful for kids? Well, using AI responsibly, we can encourage kids to self-learn, how to scope a problem, how to persist, how to know when you don't know, and know it's okay to ask questions. And our purpose? Well, first off, we wanted to see if our idea actually worked. So we did a proof of concept. But we also thought it would be a great way to chat with our clients and maybe impress some new ones with this and get them excited and having conversation about what we can do in this space. And like any tech we apply, we want to showcase that it's not just about entertainment, but it's safe and meaningful for kids and their family. So we had an opportunity. So this year, February 2023, so Kids Train, the largest kids media conference of its type in the world, we were nominated for an award. So we went there. So we only had a few weeks before the conference, so we decided to create a simple AI prototype that we were confident would be ready in time. So to keep it quick and lean, we focused on ChatGPT and DALL-E because they were easy to integrate into an app. We figured that if we used APIs like OpenAI offering paired with in this case Unity, we could rapidly create a prototype that could be demonstrable but also available across lots of devices. So we had work on phone, tablets, laptops, lots of things. So very quickly be able to have a prototype with AI in people's hand. So how did it go? Well, our prototype was actually a huge success. Everyone we spoke to wanted to check it out. They told their colleagues, and soon we were showing off constantly each day. Even to this day, we're still talking about it. People still want to see it. It turns out everyone wanted to do AI. They were like, yeah, one AI, please. But not many people knew where they should start. They can see the potential, they know they want an AI, but they don't know how to do about it. So for us, showcasing a simple prototype, like the one we'll show a bit later, got conversation started and has since opened many doors for us. Not just for the kids media industry, but for so many other industry, other audiences too, including health, entertainment, and brand activation. So, chapter 3, the importance of prompt engineering mindset. So we've done a heap of testing with kids and families, and we're even more excited about how it can benefit children. So this is the little animation is our Magical Storybook, the prototype that I've been talking about. And so it's personalized. AI can use data and algorithm to tailor the story specifically to the individual child that would not be possible without the technology. AI can provide a more accessible and inclusive experience, removing barriers to learning for children with unique learning needs, such as dyslexia. It's dynamic and adaptive. AI can continuously adapt stories and image based on the child's choice and actions. It can provide improved learning outcomes as children actively participate in the story. It fosters reading, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. And it can be shared and enjoyed together by families. For example, it can provide a new and meaningful way to learn and explore new ideas, help children express their feelings as well. And it's also fun. For instance, early testing with kids has shown that mixing AI with traditional form of structured onboarding or tutorials and things is a good approach for both kids to intuitively guide them and also parents, many who have not tried current AI offerings before. So a prompt engineering mindset can help today's children. So with prompt engineering, you can You need to communicate clearly and concisely. You can develop critical thinking skills, understand how to communicate and visualize creative ideas, and it helps kids to be ready for the workforce of tomorrow, which I believe would feature a lot of that. And I want to talk a little bit about modern architecture. Forget I'm an engineering person, and imagine I'm Joey, who isn't an engineering person. Experience with all this, she mentioned that, with modern architecture now, it's like building tech is like very advanced, like Lego sets. Imagine each block or module is designed to do something specific, like make a noise or light up. Now you can easily snap these blocks together in any configuration to create your own custom toy, gadget, or even a whole smart home. It's pretty easy to do simple tests by picking and mixing features that you want. Then you can use tools like Postman or Insomnia to test your blocks, because usually a lot of those blocks are REST APIs that you can query. And that rocked her socks. Because it's very scalable. We work with some huge clients in kids media and education industry who have millions of kids who use their products around the world. So as a creative thinker, it makes me confident that we can scale to support large audiences when we're pitching innovation concepts like Magical Storybook to them. The API we've used from OpenAI, as we can see, can handle millions of users, and no matter how big our users' base gets, we're covered. Flexibility. So we proved this prototype is super engaging for kids. It's going to let us Lego-style mix and match components in the future to create totally unique experience. So what we've done with ChatGPT and DALL-E is just one experience out of many, many that you can do with the different AI offerings out there. And cross-platform compatibility for us meant that Magical Storybook can be built to be enjoyed on any platform. An app, web, smartphone, tablet, computer, or even kid-friendly AR glasses of the not-so-far-away future. But first off, creativity. As mentioned earlier, our team was able to quickly create a demonstrable prototype that wow potential and existing clients at Kids Train Conference. It's also got us thinking how Magic Storybook could even grow with our audience as they grow and improve their personal reading skills. The best part is, with APIs, we can more easily adapt Magical Storybook to showcase it in different ways to clients with unique needs. And we can build out very fast. For example, we quickly pushed out a different version of Magical Storybook that focused on greeting cards. So we can repurpose the idea, and instead of stories, you have greeting cards. And at the moment, we are currently experimenting around one that turns maths concept into fun story-driven puzzles. So what's the bottom line? With modern architecture frameworks, our team and any team can come up with crazy ideas and often quickly prove it out. This is in turn can help with rapid user testing as well as showcasing our capabilities to our clients and stay ahead of the game. Also, creating this prototype has shifted the way we come up with digital ideas for kids. Part of our AI ideation is now about thinking API first and getting inspired from them. We kind of look at what building blocks are available out there and see what we can create with it. So without further ado, here are two fun examples of ideas we come up by looking at AI-driven APIs. So Chuck Norris Pokemon. So apparently there's a Chuck Norris API that tells you jokes, like, for those who know the Chuck Norris jokes, like, and there's also lots of Pokemon's API as well. So how's this? Chuck Norris takes on Pokemon in a series of battles. Players can select a Pokemon, and during each turn, a random Chuck Norris fact or joke is displayed. So you can have hilarious Chuck Norris move that deals extra damage or has an unexpected effect on the Pokemon. And you can get a certain level where you can start to create your own Chuck Norris hybrid Pokemon to use in battle. I mean, we can do really anything. And then another one, Starry Stories. So kids can create short animated stories with text or video based on generative text to animation prompts. Next, you can combine it with generative music and sound effects, and voila. The child has made their own, very own magical and educational space story that's full of life. Also, NASA has lots of APIs to teach kids about astronomy or simple algebra along the way. So really, you can really do lots of different things with the API out there, and they're very easy to integrate into your applications. But I had to obviously talk about ethical considerations. Obviously, creating an AI-powered experience for kids needs careful consideration on a number of fronts, which is also one of the reasons why we haven't really released Magical Storybook. As always in the kids industry, it's super important to follow GDPR, corporate privacy policy for kids, as it aligns with AI/data, even if you're in Australia. When refining the AI input and output, be mindful of current and potential future ethical and legal considerations around AI model, especially around art and copyrights. Because it's an industry where at the moment the laws is falling behind and everyone has its own idea of where the line is, and so things can change rapidly, so be mindful of that. Ensure you got safeguards in place to ensure generated context is age appropriate. At the moment at DEPT we have a team trying to quote-unquote break Magical Storybook, try to see if they can make it behave in ways that it shouldn't, which, I don't know, I'm sure that they'll be able to. And for any AI-based products targeted at children, in my opinion, probably any AI-based products, disclose API and training model upfront. You've got to be upfront about what kind of data it's using and what it's doing with the data that it's taking to do the AI. But on the other hand, while we're doing playtesting for our Magical Storybook, so one of our engineers went back with a message like this one from a young girl who was having difficulty reading and was able to use the Magical Storybook to help her achieve higher levels of readings. They even checked with the teachers. The teachers was like, that's a great way of doing it. I'm on board. And there were also many other stories. I mentioned before the benefits with kids with dyslexia, for instance. And we've seen firsthand how this technology can have a positive impact for kids when done right, which is why it's always a bit of a hard balance. It's like, we know there's things to figure out, legality and all that, but at the same time, the more we wait, the longer people who could need it have to wait as well, and it's always hard to kind of draw the line, I suppose, and know when to go forward with something that is still experimental. Also, don't feel bad. It's not you. It's hard to keep up. It can be quite overwhelming by the speed at which AI is progressing. There's all those things being done out there, and it's very hard to keep up, even for us. For instance, OpenAI is slowly releasing a new multimodal AI model of its ChatGPT that can see, hear, and speak. In December, Google will start rolling out Gemini, a multimodal AI model that can process and generate text, images, and code is being trained on a massive data set of open source books, articles, code, and images from open source projects. AWS also just released Amazon Bedrock, an easy way to build generative AI applications with security and privacy built in. And Meta is starting rolling out a conversational AI assistant, which will be available for individuals and group chats on WhatsApp, Messenger, Instagram, and probably coming soon to Ray-Ban smart glasses and Quest 3. But there's so many more things going on in the AI space. It's part of those Lego blocks I was talking about earlier as well. Now, a fun bit. I keep talking about this prototype they made, so I wanted to show it to you today. So I will try to connect my computer. Oops. Can I make it bigger? Sorry, just. Be careful. How do I get my other screen to show up? Here you go. Yep, thank you. Oops, we'll get rid of some stuff. Okay. Should have already cleaned my computer before doing this. All right, so this is, I guess, the Mac version of the Magical Storybook. So I'm gonna let you tell me what kind of story we should write about. So here we got different ways. We have a few prompts to kind of guide what kind of experience the kids are gonna get. So you can get a poem, a long story, and so on. So we'll do a short story because a long story, or as it says, they can be pretty long. So we have a few genres of stories. So maybe we'll do a vote. Who wants a sci-fi type story? Ooh, almost halfway. What about a nursery rhyme? Less popular. And folklore. All right, sci-fi it is. Sorry, I do like sci-fi, so I'm pretty happy. Okay, so now you can do a short description of what the story would be. So imagine as a kid, you're like, okay, I want a story about something. So I don't know how to pick this. Does someone has an idea for a story they want us to do live? Could be anything. Don't be shy. All right. Well, yes.
A mouse flies to the moon because they think it's made of cheese.
So a mouse flies to the moon because they think it's made of cheese. Ugh. Perfect. Let's do it. Oop. Oh, damn it. Apologies, I need internet. Which I thought I had. There you go. Okay, let me do that again. Here's a prototype. Sci-fi. Alright. So now it's talking to those AI APIs, coming up with a story. So, once upon a time, there was a curious little mouse. The mouse heard that other animals in the forest talking about a giant ball of cheese in the sky, and it so desperately wanted to try it. There's a weird noise. Is it me or is it just? Okay, I will try to ignore it. Apologies for this. So you see, so it started with a little story, and in this storybook, what you can do is you can create a picture as well. So you can ask what kind of style you want. So watercolor, pencil, or crayon. Any style people prefer?
Pencil.
Pencil? No. Crayon. I'm gonna do crayon. Sorry. I get to choose. Alright, so now we talk to DALL-E to get some images, and we let the kid, here myself, pick which one suit best for what they want to do. Oh, how cute. I think probably this one is probably the best, I think, maybe. It just matches the story a bit better. So you can insert it. Boop. You can even also make a new one. So here you go. So once upon a time, there was a curious little mouse. The mouse heard the other animals in the forest talking about a giant ball of cheese in the sky, and it so desperately wanted to try it. What happens next? So one night, when the sky was full of stars, the mouse decided to try to get to the moon. It looked around and found a rocket ship that had been abandoned by some space travelers. It was just the right size for a mouse. How convenient. Maybe we'll change the art style just so we get a bit of a different variety of things, but I did like the crayon one a lot. I wonder if it's going to do a rocket ship on this one. Oh, that's cute. Oh, look at that one. It's like they're friends. I don't know. Any preferences? That one's good. All right, perfect. It's very cute. Yeah. Oh. The mouse hopped in and blasted off to the moon. But as he got closer, he realized that the moon wasn't made of cheese at all. It was a giant gray rock. Disappointed, the mouse decided to explore the moon anyway. Let's try pencil this time. That's very sad. I hope it finds some cheese, but we'll see. So yeah, so this is the story that's getting made as we go. It has to be the one on the moon, right? Oh wait, that one is also pretty cool. Oh, I need help here. Any preferences? Top one, bottom one? Alright, perfect. So cute. The mouse walked around, gazing at the millions of craters and rocks. It eventually found something even better than cheese, millions and millions of stars. Oh, that's cheesy. Guess I should have been more specific what kind of cheese that we're talking about. And another image. Oh, it's going to be abstract here. I don't know, like this one probably matches the most. Maybe? Yeah, all right. Cool. The mouse had never seen anything so beautiful in all of its life. It sat on the rock and watched the stars twinkle until it was time for it to go home. Do you want to call this one? Oh, beautiful. Oh. I'm vibing this one, but I don't know. Any preferences? Yeah, all right. Just so nice, so those colors and things, so beautiful. The mouse hopped back into its rocket ship and blasted back to Earth, taking it with a newfound appreciation for the night sky. And every time it looked up at the moon, it was reminded of the beauty of the stars. I wonder if it's the end or is it one more page? Please let it be like a cheese sitting in the spaceship somewhere. Oh wow. Okay, this is getting a bit interesting here. I'm going to pick one at random because we need to quickly go through this. But it's very colorful, this one. The end. Wait, can I do that for the end? I wonder what it's going to do. Oh, it still remembered like all the context from before. That's great. Oh, this is very like Van Gogh type thing. I love it. Ta-da! Congrats for making your own storybook. So yeah, so you can actually go. So once you've actually crafted it, you can read it again. So you know, there you go here. So it's saved, and you can save it in your library. During user testing, it was interesting. Some kids were more interested in the images than they were in the text, and vice versa. And yeah, it was very, 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 very interesting. So this is a Magical Storybook. We actually have a test flight link if you wanted to try yourself. I'll have my email at the end so you can reach out to me. But yeah, what are we doing? Got a bit more time, so we can start questions, or we can do another story if you want.
I just have one question.
So it's like.
So when we see the cow face spinning,
Yes.
that's waiting on the web request, right?
Yeah. So we send prompts to the Open API. So usually it's based on like what was in the book and things like that, and then we say, hey, give us some images, and then we wait for it to come back and load them into our application. Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
I have two questions, but with the generating images, first of all, super cool project, by the way. Like, it's really awesome to see combining games and AI. But I think because it's so new, there's a lot of potential, like, ethical issues. So with, like, generating images, are there any filters on what images can be generated? Like, because what if a kid writes something like horror or gore, and then an image generates that something a 4-year-old shouldn't see, that type of thing. So are there any filters on what can be generated, basically?
So a little bit. Under the hood, we send instructions to AI to say, hey, make sure it's kids friendly and things like that. As I said before, we have a team trying to find more of those loopholes, and I'm sure there are plenty. There are ways that we are thinking about doing it. So obviously you can kind of, again, either explicitly or under the hood, you can sort of filter those words out and like, okay, I don't want any, every time it says gore or bloody, I just don't want any of that, and just, I don't know, place it with a funny word or something like that. Same with like inappropriate languages and things like this. The other way we were kind of doing a little bit here is you don't let the kid put text. You kind of only have lots of options of different buttons that links to a specific keyword. So that way we're more in control of what goes into the AI. Because yeah, the fact that you can write text here really scares me personally. But on the hood we're like, yeah. So yeah, there's kind of two ways of doing it, because at the end of the day, I know there are some AI models that are meant to be kids friendly and things like that. I don't know if we'll ever be reached at, because I feel like the problem is with an AI model, to be good, you need to have a bit of everything, right? But you need to make sure that you don't have the bad bits. But also, what are the bad bits? You know, some might think that this is okay, and some might think that it's not. So it's so really complicated. So yeah, in our current app, we try under the hood to filter out some of those and really tell the AI to just stay like PG. No way. Is that PG? G. Thank you. That other one, not PG. But yeah, that's why it's just a prototype. It's not a thing that we're out there because of what you just asked for. You know, second.
Yeah, I do have a second question, if that's okay for time.
Yeah, of course.
Another thing that particularly interests me with like AI and education and learning. Has your team considered like digital literacy and ways to teach that or implement that in your programs? Because I think digital literacy is really important, but for kids and for adults as well. But is that something you've considered or have any thoughts about that?
Definitely. So we definitely agree that both kids and adults need to be taught on this. And we've actually been chatting with some of the universities because on similar project to actually teach kids how to understand AI and use AI appropriately, especially because for me, it does remind me of I don't know, like the Wikipedia era when people were like, you know, don't go on Wikipedia because it's all like user generated and like, you know, don't quit. But it's like, for me, it's like the next phase. It's like this dynamic, super powerful, almost like omnipotent, like Wikipedia, because it knows everything and can blow. So I think there needs to be some teaching, and we're definitely into that. So we are hopefully, we're talking to some people about it, and hopefully something will happen because we would like to get involved. But DEPT and Ochumus, because we are work for hire, we can only really work on things that people want us to work on. But that being said, internally we are trying really hard to work on safe AI and all those things. But I guess until we've got proper use cases, then, you know, we can't really test for sure if it's working. So I'm just going to put the... Oops, nope. Hey. Actually, I'll go to the next one. For questions, officially. Oh, good. I think you were first, and then second, and then third. But maybe we'll do this because it makes more sense because you're next to each other.
Sounds good.
Sorry.
Thank you. So my question is about the. I guess it is ethical, but it's more around the hidden side of AI in that sense. Like I can type in, you know, a story that is G for kids, show me a story about a nurse, and the imagery is just going to give you a woman, right? And then this reinforces stereotypes to young children about the world. That's I don't expect you to have a solution to it, but the consideration around that, especially around the imagery, because you can type something in words or you can even use prompts. But if I say, show me a nurse, it gives me a woman. Show me a criminal, it shows me a black person, right? So these are the types of things that I wonder if you've thought about, and if you have, like, what have you kind of, your thought process around approaching that?
Yeah, no, it's good. So that biases that you're describing is also exactly why we haven't released this to the world, and it is a very difficult thing to solve. I would say that you probably will need to first acknowledge the fact that there are some biases and identify them, and then that's where I think in the ideal world you'd wait for all those public models to be better. I think personally what I would do is I would actually train my own AI and try to unteach those biases, but then again, like, maybe I've got my biases on my own as well, and so it's just it's very difficult. I don't know if we can ever I don't know how we're going to fix it fully over time, but there's definitely ways, and it's again one of the reasons why we don't want to ship it yet. I don't know if at all, and I think I would make a case for it that I would have like some kind of like committee that would go through and do some testing and says, oh, it's weird, so is man here, or is woman here. It's like and try to like get our own version of the model, which, because we can do models cool is that you can take an existing model and just add to it, so you can sort of modify, so you don't need to start from scratch. So I think that's what I would do. It would be better. It would be perfect, but it would be better. Maybe we'll go to
building on the literacy question, have you thought about other analytics and aspects, like so getting the child to read and it recording, or like listening into them, see if it can bounce along with that, and then obviously, or you know, if they spend 30 or 40 seconds on a page, then making the next page a little bit easier to read, and then building back up on those kind of things.
Those are great ideas that I will write down for if we want to continue to improve the storybook.
Patent pending.
But I think that's the point. I think as we say, we want to use AI to help them, and I think if we see that they are struggling, I think the next question was over there. Sorry. But yeah, I think it's a great example of how you can use AI to say like, oh look, this stays on this page for too long, or things like that, or they tab things. Yeah, definitely, I would want to do that. This would not in the scope of our first sort of prototype, but I would definitely try and integrate that, because that's a great idea.
Yeah, thanks for that. With the OpenAI API, it costs a few cents to send and receive tokens. Mm-hmm. I guess those costs will be passed on to the user. Have you worked out that system yet?
So I was saying like a broken record. That is also some of the reasons why we have not released this to the public. But this is something that we do tell our clients who want to do a similar experience. So like, listen, it's not like this magical thing that happens isn't free. So I will let whoever wants to decide on having the product, their own business model. I think something like this, if we're to do something more targeted for kids and I really like help them with literacy and learning to read and all this, I would try to do some kind of, I think probably like a subscription model, and they can use as much as they want. But again, we're not doing that as a product, so I don't know yet. But it does cost money. Like all the things like when I was doing the prototype right now, we went to some API servers, OpenAI server, and obviously it costs money on our own account, right? So it's not free to do all these things. So keep that in mind. If you want to do something similar, you'll need a way to cover those costs.
Second question on that. How far away is the technology so you can render the text and images locally, like say with the Llama LLM?
I think it's sort of already there, but at the moment, like it is hosting on like locally an AI model is quite difficult. It's quite large, so I think I would say it's probably still not a good idea to host it locally. I think you should always have some kind of server that hosts it. So I guess it's not there yet, but I guess you could still do it if you really wanted to. That would be my answer.
Cool, thank you.
Any other questions? Awesome. All right, well, I guess I'll be hanging out here for a little bit, so if you want to talk more, and have a good GCAP and Games Week. Thank you so much.